Phylos Bioscience, who originally did a visual map of the cannabis genome that became kind of what everyone used as reference for a while. They've focused really heavily on autoflowering genetics, and they've been able to pinpoint lots of very specific genes, which is like what James was saying, then using computer software and AI and rocketing yourself to these new varieties that normally would have taken many generations of observation to get to. So they're really kind of pioneering autoflower strains, cultivars, very quickly.
Yeah,
Still,
well,
that word still comes out.
and one of the tricks as a breeder, so like if you're not sure and you don't want to put time and you want to skip some of the steps as far as for breeding autoflowers, you can take an autoflower and you can back cross it to guarantee that you're going to get the gene, right? So like if you have a photo period, you take it and you cross it to a photo period, which is what's called creating an F1. And when we're creating F1s in that population, you're going to have stuff that's an autoflower. It has the trait. You can then take the one that has the trait that's recessive, cross that back to an autoflower, and then you're back crossing and creating an autoflower in the next population using it that way. So there's a lot of tricks with autoflowers, and how to determine it's an autoflower is pretty wild too. You go and you keep your lights on 24/7, and then you can see what actually goes into autoflower and what doesn't. Because the stuff that actually goes into autoflower, what happens is the bricks in the plant, the sugar, develops to a certain point, causing it to go into flower, whether it's on 24 hours of light or 12 hours of light. If we talk about autoflower periods, so there's auto, which is day neutral autoflower, and then we have the photo period. And photo period means after we switch the light, 12/12, it goes into flower. And so it's pretty wild.
I remember back in the day, this is why growers really struggled with autoflower, because you take cuttings and vegetative, but autoflower was already flowering already. And so it made everything hard. And why growers like harshed its gig, if you will.
Right, and autoflower is pretty wild because originally, as far as ruderalis, ruderalis is if we talk about indica, sativa, and ruderalis, those are, we can consider those species or morphology. But as far as autoflower, it's interesting because I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, with the autoflower trait, it's like from ruderalis, we've come so far. So we started out with something that genetically was not great. It smelled like hay. It didn't yield very well. It was a very airy type plant with an open bud structure. And then as we've been breeding it, the further we get away from ruderalis, which is more of a subspecies, the better the quality has gotten. So the stuff that we had the Mexican Rudy was in the 80s and 90s, some of it even before my time. And then as we've gotten towards modern day, they've selected the trait and used that trait to breed in quality. And that's really what breeding has been all about. And we're going to go into that a little bit more.